Okay, in this video, we want to talk about how to create a list. Now, you'll notice on the left-hand side under the search feature or section, I should say, that the first thing you want to do is you want to focus on your keywords. The engine is very keyword centric, meaning if this keyword is in a person's job title, that's who I want. So you don't need to type in every variation of marketing manager, marketing director, VP, SVP, vice president spelled out. You just need the word marketing in there and you'll be able to pull in all variations of that. Content marketing, social media marketing manager, chief marketing officer. However, you will also need to use acronyms. So in some cases, because the acronym doesn't have the word marketing in it, you also need to include acronyms. So another way to ensure that you get all of the keywords, you might want to do something like digital or brand or content. That'll get content marketers, content directors, social media. You need to make sure you put social media in there. If you just had social, you get social worker. But by using social media, you only get social media contacts as an example. You could also do PPC, pay per click, or SEO for search engine optimization. And so, of course, if you want search engine optimization, you should also just add search engine. Now, this will pull in all the job titles. You'll have to run the query in order to see what the results look like. So you can see here, sales marketing director, Facebook and social media, engagement manager, marketing and shop manager, co-founder. Obviously, you can see this is a very broad search. It'll include all industries and all company sizes. Now, to whittle this down, you would select company sizes. Now, we prefer company size over revenue because revenue is kind of objective and small companies tend to overreport. So it's best to go with company sizes. So let's say you do really well with companies between 50 and 500. As you can see here, we have 467,000 records that match. Still too big. Now, the way you want to whittle that down even further is you can go by state. We will be expanding this so you can do metro areas. Just gives a little time to do that. But you can also select by industries. Now, industries, these are typical LinkedIn industries, which aren't that granular. But it's a good start. If you really want to get focused, then you might want to use SIC code. And we've broken our SIC code up to operate similar to keywords, where you can type in food as an example, and it will pull in any SIC code that deals with the word food in it. So that can help you get a lot more granular when it comes to trying to really drill down into the exact market you're looking for. Another option, if you have NAICS codes, you can upload a CSV file of NAICS codes and we'll also match as many records as we possibly can. Now, one thing to keep in mind is we have industries or a general industry for every contact record, but we might not have SIC codes for each company. And some companies have multiple SIC codes, like Amazon. You have Amazon Retail, you have Amazon logistics. You've got you got their space division. There's many divisions within Amazon, as an example. So in some cases, it might warrant some keyword research and a combination of SIC codes and industry. Another thing you can do is you can type in a keyword search right in the search bar. So maybe you're looking for something in the restaurant industry. You type in restaurant, pardon me, and that keyword is going to pull up. That's going to be, this keyword is searching for anyone with restaurant in their job title or in their company name or in their actual industry. So you can see, again, there's lots of ways to find that list. Now, let's say you wanted this particular list right here. Let's just select one as an example. I'm going to select a couple of industries. Let's say consumer services, cosmetics, computer, electronics, hardware, software, computer gaming, as an example. It'll update in real time. So here's 13,000 records. Now, when you have a list like that, now it's time to save that list. Now you'll give the list a name, and then you'll select what type of list that you want. Now, this is very important because in SalesProphet, we look at the world a little bit differently than most. We think that you should have two types of lists. One is an account-based sales list. And the reason for that is there are certain accounts, you should probably have about 1,000 top target accounts that you want to go after. And we don't believe that you should just drop them into automation. You can just creating it as a sales automation list, but we say, hey, look, if there is a particular company size or a particular industry that you do very well with, you might want to separate that, because I'm going to show you in a little bit what the difference is between an account-based sales list versus a sales automation list. In short, what it looks like is this. This sales automation list is is sending one email to one person, a one-to-one communication. An account-based list is where you send one email to multiple people that are part of the buying decision or buying committee. So it could be, let's say you sell moving services to HR directors and procurement, as well as operations. So you might want to send one email to the chief human resource officer, who's most likely involved in any major purchase decision when it comes to buying moving services for your employees. You might want to copy the director of mobility and then maybe someone in procurement, VP of procurement, because chances are those three would be involved in making any purchase decision. So that's why we break out our lists in two different formats. And then we'll get into, to learn more about what we do when we do create that list, we'll make sure to check out the account-based company list and that video to understand just how do we go about marketing to those contacts versus everyone else in our list. Now, once you request a list, this is what it will come out at. We recommend, once you get the list, to select this green button here. That'll validate your emails. So you don't get charged for that. Right now, we will validate all the records that are in your list for you. And then when the results come back, you're going to notice that there's 4 types of records. There's the ones that are valid, that the email verification software has validated. Then there's records that are unverifiable. That's like unknowns, which means the mail server was pinged, but didn't respond. It didn't say, well, take that email. That email's no good. It didn't say anything. Then there's servers that will say, hey, we'll take it as long as it's got the right domain. So in other words, you could try to verify Santa Claus at Microsoft.com. And as long as you have at Microsoft.com, the mail server says, hey, we'll take it. So you don't know whether or not that's valid until you actually email Santa Claus at Microsoft.com. And of course, that record will bounce, but you can't verify that through traditional SMTP email verification software solutions. We also let you have complainers. And so what does that mean? Well, these people, if I click on that, it'll give me a list of all the people that are complainers. You want to be careful about how you communicate to people who complain, because they have a history of complaining about receiving unsolicited mail. They're still valid records, but you may want to connect with them on LinkedIn first, get their permission, and then communicate to them or drop them into a sequence. Valid records those are fine. You can drop all of those records right into a sequence of your choice just by simply selecting the first row and then adding to any of your pre-built sequences. So for more information on email verification, because this is very important, the data you put in to your campaigns impacts your email reputation and your deliverability. And obviously, the first thing you have to think about when using a sales automation platform is getting into the inbox. If it doesn't get into the inbox, it doesn't matter what you send them. There's going to be no response. So understanding how email verification works is very important. And there's a very good white paper on our website on email verification. I should also point out that we only charge you for the valid email records. The complainers, which are valid, and valids, that will go towards your credit usage. These records are free to use. So you can get 3-4 times the amount of data than you would with any other platform. The only challenge is you have to be careful because, as I said, you cannot verify a catch-all record or an unknown record. You actually have to email it. Now, we do have a service that we're going to roll out that will allow you to pay to verify these. And how do you do that? Well, you send a blank or arbitrary email to each one of those records. And that way you actually get to see what the server responds. Was that email actually delivered? Yes or no? Then you know it's a valid record. Then you can add them to your campaigns. The danger is if you get a bounce rate, really anything over 8%, I get nervous. I like to keep bounces under 5%. In fact, valids are typically under 3%. So you have to be very careful if you decide to use catch-all records. So you might want to spread those records out or sprinkle some of those records in each of your campaigns sparingly, which you can easily do. You can select the catch-alls, and then you can come down and say add 100 per page. And then you would simply select those and drop them into your campaign of valid records. Because if you just emailed the catch-all records, chances are your bounce rate would exceed 8%. And then you would be potentially damaging your email reputation. Same for unknown. But by selecting these records, which would be free, then you could drop them in over time into your sequence to supplement the valid records. Then you'll do just fine. Okay, so we're going to make some additional changes here to the way we manage lists and the way we verify records and what options you'll have. So pay attention to this. We'll definitely be spending a lot of time in this area because it is extremely important. But that kind of covers how you would search for records and then how you would add them to a list and the different types of lists that are available. And we'll make sure to get into the account-based email campaigns versus the sales sequence campaigns in our other videos. Let us know if you have any questions. We're always here to help. Thank you.